Welcome to Inconceivable Delights. We're making 3 desserts today. The first is chocolate brownie dessert.
Then we're going to make coconut macaroons.
And finally, strawberry corn cake, no quotes required. The first thing, a chocolate brownie dessert. We all love chocolate around here, so we think there's not anything that could go wrong. So let's go over our recipe. 3/4 cup of non-fat dry milk. Do you think we're supposed to put water in that? Or is it just 3/4 cup of powder? The instructions really aren't that clear. Sprinkle the gelatin over the cold water in the blender container.
Looks like very little amount.
1/4 cup of water is not very much. So we'll put that in there. And we'll sprinkle over some gelatin. Package 1, package 2. So we're ready to add our hot water and process at medium speed. That was 1 1/4 cups of this.
We don't have vanilla extract, but we have Happy Kahlua.
Do we have any chocolate extract in the pantry?
I'm gonna have to go with no.
We can mix vanilla extract, which we actually have quite a bit of, and cocoa powder with a 1-to-1 ratio. All right, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon of vanilla. We'll just mix that up and see what happens. Okay, I think that will work. So we've got 1 tablespoon of chocolate extract. So we really need 2 of these.
Well, I think magically there might be another one.
It looks like a chocolate milkshake. Or
Yeah.
pour that into our dish and chill. It's gonna be in there for a while. So we'll come back later and we'll see what happens with our chocolate brownie dessert.
We're making coconut macaroons, so let's look at the recipe. It says we need 1.25 cups of non-fat dry milk. We need 2 medium apples.
I think
They're
these are
little,
small
There's no actual coconut in this. That's why you grate the apple.
because it'll be exactly the same.
You'll
coconut.
never even
Now,
know.
why don't you get the apron on?
First, combine all ingredients in a mixing bowl. So we've got the non-fat dry milk, the medium apples grated, which we don't have.
I'll
yet
get
there.
started on the apple.
The coconut extract. We have this all measured out because I'm more prepared than my mother. And we've got the cinnamon, the sugar. After she's done grating the apples, then we'll add those in there.
We might be tricked into thinking it's coconut, but it really looks more like grated cheese to me. Here's the apple, Kira.
Mix thoroughly, okay, let's do that. Drop by teaspoonfuls onto a non-stick cookie sheet.
I'm not so sure about this.
Right.
That is not a dough. Maybe they really just wanted non-fat, dry milk. All right, bring them out. Okay, well, at this point, we're in uncharted territory.
It says teaspoonful, maybe a little less than that.
Yeah, some of them will be
Various sizes.
various sizes. I think we've got about as much of that out of there as, we can get. We're gonna pop this in the oven. Well, that is our coconut macaroon recipes. What do you think you'll do with that leftover juice? Well, maybe we can make a coconut smoothie.
The thing is, I forgot to press record.
Well,
All right.
do over. All right, so we saw how big of a disaster the coconut macaroons were, and they left a lot of juice and apple and everything left over. But we are going to salvage this and make something that everybody in this family is gonna love. So I'm gonna strain this and get out all of that apple and just leave us with the juice and the seasoning. And that left us with about 1.5 cups of liquid. We're gonna be really generous and we're gonna pour this in. This is cinnamon whiskey made in Texas. We end up with 3 cups of our coconut apple pie old fashioned. We're gonna serve this up. Here we go. Coconut apple pie old fashioned.
Here's to Marcy.
Here's to Marcy. Cheers. Definitely better.
That's pretty good.
Definitely good. Our coconut macaroons are done. So we're going to pull these out. I feel like they look like a hash brown. And I mean, they don't smell bad. They've got a nice cinnamon scent and everything. We're just not quite sure how to know if they're done. Still pretty wet. They're not going to be crispy, that's for sure. We'll have to let those cool and maybe give it a try a little later. Just trying to see who gets to wear the apron. And so if the person who loses wears the apron,
Whoever wins.
whoever wins, okay. Mini me. Oh, heat milk and sweetener in a saucepan. Okay. So as I heat that, Kira, what do we have to do after that? So we've got a cup of skim milk, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 egg, and vanilla extract, and half a cup of strawberries, and 1 ounce of cornmeal. I feel like we're going to end up with corn soup, just like we ended up with apple pie soup. Yeah, well, first I got to figure out how to get an ounce. We used to have a scale. So I also feel like maybe the scale got decluttered away. All right, well, I guess then bring that cornmeal over here so that when that gets to boiling. All right, so this is boiling, so I'm going to sprinkle in the cornmeal.
And by the way, how much is 1 ounce of cornmeal?
Well, we decided after some thorough research.
I also feel like maybe the scale got decluttered away, so.
Find something that we know weighs 1 ounce.
Right.
There's always Google, or we could measure the full container and see how many cups it is, divided by however many ounces are in the container, and multiply that and divide.
Yeah, this is 24 ounces.
Okay, so 1 ounce is not going to be much.
It's not. I'm like,
I think in liquid, 1 ounce is only 2 tablespoons.
yeah, it can't be right. Stirring until thickened. It's never going to thicken with.
It's not like they even abbreviated. They spelled out ounce, so they must. Let's do our best to get 1 ounce.
And it's clear this time.
I do have a scale at mine. I didn't bring it with me.
Well, we used to have one, and
Oh, David, do you know how much cornmeal is in 1 ounce?
1 cup of cornmeal with approximately 6 ounces.
So a sixth of a cup.
A quarter of a cup is 4 tablespoons. How many teaspoons? 8. 8 teaspoons. I'm skeptical.
How many tablespoons?
8. No, 8 teaspoons. Because I figured it was going to be an odd number of tablespoons. And so, here's the teaspoon. But if we end up with soup, we obviously don't have enough cornmeal. And cake is not even that runny. We have plenty of soup.
So what if you put Jello in it?
But the recipe didn't call for gelatin.
We decided it was 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons.
Not very much cornmeal in a cup of milk, in my opinion. But, maybe it'll surprise me. So I would say it is thickening. And now I believe we're just supposed to let it cool. All right, let's finish up our strawberry corn cake. Our cornmeal milk mixture has cooled. So as I finish this up, I am going to mix in 1 egg. Our mixture is pretty thick here. Now we have half a cup of strawberries that we're going to fold into that mix. I'm going to bring over my specially prepared little strawberry corn cake maker. Spoon some of that out into there. All right, 9 little heart-shaped strawberry corn cakes to go in the oven. All right, our strawberry corn cakes have been in the oven for 30 minutes. So let's just pull them out. Set those up there to cool. Those look like they turned out nice. They're nice and brown. And, for as skeptical as we were of this recipe at the beginning, it looks like it just might pan out. All right, 9 little heart-shaped strawberry corn cakes. Oh, there you go. We have our chocolate brownie dessert. It's not I wouldn't call it a brownie, but it's chocolate and it's Jello and it's good.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our coconut macaroon, which is really apple hash brown. It's edible.
It's edible. I think as an old-fashioned, it was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our strawberry corn cake,
Thank you.
which, by the way, we were incredibly skeptical of. As you looked at the recipe and we had our apple soup failure, and this recipe looked like it was going to be a corn soup failure.
We totally trashed
Um,
it. We totally trashed this recipe before we could.
Yeah, but we followed the directions, and lo and behold, we did end up with something that came out
Well-
looking.
Yeah.
It's not cake.
It's not cake. It's not
It's
cornbread.
not cornbread.
It's pretty damn bland.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
This only goes along with previous cornbread failures in my history.
So the first place is the
Chocolate brownie.
No, the apple.
Oh, the apple pie.
the apple
old-fashioned.
Second place would be
The chocolate brownie.
the chocolate brownie. Third would be the apple.
Well, and in 10th place, and we didn't make that many things, the cornbread
corn
cake.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Rat party.